couple accidentally buys a 100-year-old mansion that has a secret of its own. Claire Segeren and Cal Hunter come from Scotland and have been together for many years. Claire had taken a year-long break from her medical school. They had also decided upon taking one giant step of their lives. The couple belonged to a middle class, and so they did not have a lot of sources of income. They were looking for an extra source of income. After thinking a while, the couple came up with a brilliant idea. They decided to buy an old and shabby house and sell it at more cost after doing some renovation. It seemed a great idea, but their plan took an unexpected turn and changed their lives upside down. As mentioned earlier, the couple's living in Scotland, but that's not their birthland. They were willing to buy a property up north. It was during their search the couple found themselves an apartment in Glasgow and were very willing to buy that. The apartment had gotten under fire a few years back, which implied they'd have to spend some money on it. Cal headed to the auction with hopes. The auction was full of bidders. Cal placed a bid of £30,000, which is about $37,000 US, on the house. No doubt it was a big amount. He knew he was going to win the bid, but what he failed to understand is that he'd placed his bid on the wrong house. What's more, his bid actually won. Cal realized it a few minutes after winning the bid. He made his way to the officials at the auction house to tell them about his misunderstanding. He didn't want to bid on that house. The property he just bought was a 120-year property located in Dunoon, Scotland. Claire said, "The house was built in 1900 and had a lovely feel to it and so much character that we felt it would be a sin to level it and start again. So we made the momentous decision to give it a go." She was much excited about it. The couple knew that the house they were willing to buy was going to require lots of effort from them. So yes, that was a challenging task for them. But here they were hopeful that the new house they'd bought accidentally would be easier to deal with. It was an old and a bit dilapidated mansion, but had something special about it. They couldn't wait to transform the mansion into a home. No need to say they'd bought the mansion in a cheaper amount. It was an amazing mansion, but little did they know there was more to it than met the eyes. It's after seeing the house in person they realized how much work they'd need to do to bring it in good shape. It was after coming to the spot they realized that the house was gradually sinking into the ground. The roof had come off and the local council had categorized the mansion as dangerous. She later revealed it was in a state of partial collapse. It was subsiding. There were gaping holes in the roof and walls. The timbers were rotten and the land was waterlogged. Derelict was too mild a word. Despite the mansion's bad condition, they were hopeful. Claire said, "We love the house and its stunning location in a village on the edge of a Scottish loch. It's all been a beautiful mistake. If we can tackle this, we can tackle anything. It's going to take us much longer than a year, but just think of the life skills we're going to learn along the way." Claire said their friends and families criticized their decision and called the mansion inhospitable. However, they didn't let all those criticisms affect them. The crumbling walls and the damaged interior did discourage them a bit, but at the same time they were positive that this mansion was meant to change into something beautiful. By now they'd realized that the process of renovation will take a long time to complete. It means they'll have to wait for a while to sell the mansion, but they also knew that the mansion would pay them well once renovated. However, they suffered a blow when they learned that the renovation was going to charge them a big amount. They had to make a choice. They knew that the renovation was very demanding financially, but they knew all along once renovated the mansion would earn them a lot of money. If they were willing to renovate, they'd have to invest in all their money. In order to save money, they had to change their living situation. The couple began the task by renting out a caravan. They dragged their caravan to the backyard and placed it right there. They were going to be there living in this caravan throughout the project. One thing to point is that the caravan they'd rented out did not even have basic facilities, no running water or electricity. No need to say that they were residing in a caravan with no facilities, but still they were happy, and the way everything was, Claire and Cal took it as an opportunity to make their life a bit adventurous. And this is their affinity for the adventure that brought them together. Canadian Claire and Englishman Cal met each other during a ski season. That happened in the French Alps. and they hit it off in their first meeting. As their season came to a close, they decided to spend more time with each other. They've traveled all across Canada and Europe. They've gone on many adventures, but this one that includes the transformation of the mansion is the biggest one. They were confident that they'd pull it off as they had the support from their friends, family, and fans. The couple also updated their day-to-day activity on their blog and social media pages. What have we done to let the world have a sneak peek in their day-to-day life? They still post pictures on their social media pages and give an update about their home. In order to keep their spirit up, they always celebrate every achievement, even the tiniest ones of theirs. The process was indeed taking longer than they had expected, but instead of losing hope, they enjoyed every moment of it. Claire and Cal are lucky to have friends and family who would always stand by them. Their well-wishers came forward to help the couple as they've been having financial issues. As the duo was short on money, they could not afford to hire contractors or professionals. However, they needed some extra help to pull off this enormous task. Their journey was way difficult than they'd imagined. Not a single day has passed when the couple did not have to face any problems. For example, the couple had to dig up the hole of the driveway when their van got stuck in it. And after some time, they had to dig again to trace the water supply pipe. Not only that, it took 5 months for the couple to find the house's main electrical cable. Finding a new problem seems to be a daily occurrence here at Jameswood. It's taken us until now to find the electricity cable that will allow us to connect to the mains, she continued. Our van was getting stuck in the mud, so we put down a driveway, which we had to dig up a week later to find the elusive water supply. Their struggle had just begun. A cursory glance at the interior of the house was enough to reveal the requirements of a completely new roof. A major part of the current roof had gone damaged. They checked the price in the market for a new roof. However, what they missed was that a sound roof is of no use if it's not supported by structurally sound walls. So if they were willing to put a new roof, they'd have to work on the walls as well. The house needs a new roof, but a civil engineer has told us the walls probably won't be strong enough to hold it up. So we'll have to fix them first and risk the rain coming through the roof, ruining them. It's like a huge catch-22 jigsaw puzzle, explained Claire. Many of their fans extended a hand to help them. Whereas some of them helped them with the material, there were some who gave the couple very good suggestions on building materials and work. The couple wanted the renovation to be eco-friendly. There were some people who informed about the places where they can find old, reusable building materials and supplies. What other thing posed a problem was the heap of junk scattered all over the house. They had to take the broken furniture and other stuff out of the house. Luckily, they had their truck with them. The couple carried all the junks onto their vehicle and headed towards a dumpster. Once they got their hands on the electricity, they aimed at the floorboards in the house. They noticed that many of the floorboards were rotten. Leaving them the way they were would lead to hazardous accidents. Claire took the responsibility of removing the floorboards. She picked a sledgehammer and struck the floorboards with all her force. They also had to check the scaffolding that was in a bad condition too. One thing that they very much liked about the building was its bay window on the top floor. However, they soon learned that the exterior of the window was infested with cracks and holes. They thought its reason to be the collapsing of the house into the ground. However, it didn't take them long to realize that the reason was something else. They were at their wits' end when they saw that the roof timbers were shoving the window out of its spot. They learned many valuable lessons that we tend to ignore in busy and bustling city life. They realized that sometimes one should get back to the fundamentals. They had no facilities and a washing machine or other electronic equipment, so they were putting up in a caravan. They had to figure out something on their own. They decided to go completely natural. Claire had a perfect idea about washing her gloves. She did not want to go to the local town to use the laundromat, as that was quite far. Instead, the woman headed to a stream and washed her gloves in that. Thereafter, she hung their gloves up between a couple trees. Staying in a caravan comes with its own share of hardships, but that doesn't mean it's not fun. No doubt the caravan did not give comfort like home, but it was quite an experience for them. Summer had finally come, and Claire and Cal were intended to enjoy it fully. So instead of taking help from their neighbors, they planned on making their own makeshift kitchen. They created a stove, cupboards, and also a trash bin to build their kitchen. And it worked amazingly fine. This is true, it wasn't a modern and well-equipped kitchen, but provided more comfort than the previous one they were using. It wasn't safe to leave the caravan in front of their house. The caravan was on the road, which meant any passing vehicle can rock it. They certainly won't have positive consequences. If it happens, all their belongings can get ruined. They'd never get enough sleep due to the coming in noise from the road, so they decided to move their car to a new base by clearing the track from the side of the mansion. Thereafter, they had to tow their caravan to its brand new base. Well, everything happens for good. After moving to the new base, every morning they'd hear the beautiful sounds of birds chirping and leaves rustling, and not the noise of trucks, cars, and passers-by. No matter how difficult the task was, the couple always remained sure about their renovation plan. However, they had to face many troubles. From cleaning the cobwebs dangling in the rooms to sleeping out in a caravan, it was all making this journey very difficult. Their property stayed vacated for 2 decades. Their new house was also home to a bunch of crows. They'd been living in that dilapidated mansion for a long time. Claire had no intention of destroying their nest, but it was important too to get rid of them. So they came up with a nice idea. They took many measures in use to scare the crows away. They even designed their own makeshift scarecrow. They'd come a long way in their work, and with time they realized that they can't do it on their own. It was a big project, and so they needed more people on board. The duo knew who could help them. They reached out to their friends in the UK and asked to help them in their work. Shelling out for helpers' stay at the hotel was quite expensive and too much. But at the same time, they had no space in their caravan. The couple didn't have many options in that front, so as a lack of choices, they decided to build friends a little sanctuary. They chose their backyard to create it on. It was pocket-friendly, as all they had to do was buy a tent and distribute it with bed and many other home comforts. The couple were still busy renovating their home. Surprisingly, even after doing so much, they're just halfway through their goal. Revamping a mansion does take its time and effort. So how do they do this without feeling tired? They've made a list of work, and they finish at least one of them every single day. Their efforts have indeed brought them closer to their aim. They've worked their best to give a new and clean look to the office. They've come this far by making personal as well as financial sacrifices. It all began with one mistake that gave them a new mission. Well, would it be fair to call it a mistake?